Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a special bonus reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Aries, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Aries, I hope that you're doing well. It's blustery and snowing and cold outside, and feels very nice to be cozy with my counterparts, the fire signs. So, Aries, I'm going to be using 2 decks for your reading today, and this reading is all about alchemizing your circumstances, alchemizing your life. What does that mean? How are we transforming things in order to make them work in our favor? So, I'm going to be using the Wild Unknown Alchemy deck and the Pulp Tarot for your tarot reading. Cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angels, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for Aries? Thank you. Interesting. Saturni, number 7, which corresponds to the Chariot card of the Major Arcana, Cancer energy. Look at that card. That's really intense for like so many reasons. Well, wow. Sorry, I'm just trying to... So this gesture right here, I talked about this, I guess not exactly this, but like more just like a this gesture, which is something that I see. I'm not going to turn it towards the camera, but it's something that I see when people make the sign of the cross, like a priest or something. They hold their hands in such a way where the fingers seem a little loose to bless somebody or something. So spirit could be talking about a blessing of you. But the energy of Saturn is really intense. Saturn, I mean, you're Aries, you're really intense. But Saturn is the planet of restriction, constriction, represented by the concept of father time. Right? Sometimes time seems so fluid, and sometimes, thank you, Spirit, time seems so stagnant, excruciating, having to wait, right? So there's this dichotomy energy I see happening here, and what we make of it in the middle, this kind of gold ball or gold, oh, I mean, the spirit just said snitch. Some of you might be Harry Potter fans. Of course, we see the scythe, right? This is this tool where we cut, we cut the wheat from the chaff, but we cut crops with big blades like this, because it's the motion of turning and slicing through very methodically, very efficiently. Doesn't seem like this tool would be efficient, but if you've ever watched somebody use it properly, it's an extremely efficient tool. I see here these symbols. I do believe they represent the planetary bodies. I am not familiar with them. I can only assume they somehow represent Saturn. But what they remind me of are, they are not, but what they remind me of are Reiki symbols. And especially with this, it's funny because when I do this motion, when I do this to the air, I draw Reiki symbols like this with like these loose hands. I draw Reiki symbols when I perform Reiki. So there's a lot of energy work that is happening here. But the most prominent gesture that comes to mind for me is the as above, so below correlate, right? The law of, what is it? The law of correspondence. If we can think it, we can create it. As above, so below. What we can see in the mind, we can have in the hand. So it's almost as if Spirit is showing me you've been slowly but methodically cutting away something. Maybe you've been cutting cords in order to make space or create space or hold space. Spirit just said hold space for this kind of abundance. You're bringing it down from the ether so that it can drop into your hand, right? Some kind of wealth. Doesn't have to be monetary wealth, but we can say that for the purposes of this example. I was just talking to Leo about gold and how much we've come to hold gold in such high esteem as a commodity. Gold is it's hard to cultivate the process of mining for gold or panning for gold. If you've ever I've watched videos in my doom scrolling. I've watched several videos of people panning for gold. It's a laborious process. You have to really know what you're doing, and you have to really know what you're looking out for. You know, these gold bars don't just come out of the earth like crystals do, you know? So the fact that we've used gold as in jewelry, as terms of endearment, of love, of marriage, that we use gold in technology, that we have gold element in our very bodies. It's very, it has society gives it very high value. So there's something of very high value that wants to come in towards you, but Saturn, the planet of restriction, puts some limitations on you at this time of how much of it you can bring in, which suggests to me that there may be some blockages that you are trying to cut away. Some of those blockages might be fear, could be people, could be extricating yourself from a situation that is not right for you. Saturn is difficult to deal with, astrologically speaking. But if you can make friends with Saturn, I remember once my mom told me this. She's had a lot of Saturnian energy in her life, actually. But she prays to Saturn. Because it's like if you can make Saturn your friend, you can learn the lessons that Saturn wants to teach, you will be abundant. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier. There's no past, present, future. It's just channeled messages from Spirit. Six cards already down. Yeah. Two major arcana. We'll start with the Four of Cups in the reverse. It's weird to look at it upside down, but Four of Cups usually talks about apathy, complacency. You can see here, though, that the hand of Spirit wants to hand you a beautiful cup. The cups in the tarot, they're water energy, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. And they represent love and compassion and empathy and ooey gooey feelings, friendship and family. So whenever we see a Cups card, we kind of think in those terms. When the Four of Cups is in reverse, you're starting to recognize what Spirit has in store for you. There's something that has crossed your path recently that has illuminated some aspect of positive emotion, right? There's something that you're going to love, something that you're going to welcome gladly, something that speaks to your heart space. Now, I don't know if it's big bags of money or what it is. The Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. It's a strange energy, the Seven of Pentacles, because it's an energy of, it's kind of blizzardy conditions right now. And I have really big windows in my bedroom, and it just feels like the snow is coming down on me, even though it's outside. And I feel as though it's appearing now, and it's part of your reading, that there could be this just beautiful abundance coming in whatever form you attribute abundance to. It doesn't just have to be about money. Money is great, but so are a lot of other things, right? Good health, that's the best abundance of all. Seven of Pentacles, though, is this energy where you kind of feel like you're not sure that you want to stay on a certain path, where you've made a certain investment into something, and maybe that investment yielded a certain amount of reward. But you see here, like, she's kind of got her hand on her chin. Like, what do I do next? What should I do next? That's the Seven of Pentacles energy. So it's almost as if you've woken up to whatever Spirit has on offer, but now you're looking at kind of whatever project or whatever direction you were looking at before and wondering, okay, Spirit's showing me this thing over here, but I've got this thing going on over here. Which should I give this up? Is Spirit asking me to give this up? You're not sure. And I feel as though this is something that you asked for, because Spirit just had me look at this again. You brought it down, you manifested it. It's like you got what you wanted, but here you are working on this thing. What do I do? What do I do? Let's ask. Can I have a clarifier for the Seven of Pentacles? Two of Cups and the Hangman in reverse. Okay, Hangman is kind of sacrificial energy. It's a major arcana card, represents Virgo and Pisces. This is the card in the upright. Hangman energy is when we step back from a situation voluntarily or sacrificially in some cases to have some discernment. We need space to make decisions. Two of Cups in the reverse. This is the card in the upright. Two of Cups talks about kind of equal parties coming together to exchange love, ideas, emotions. Also can talk about the connection between you and the higher self, you and your soul. When the card is in reverse, it kind of tells me that you have been feeling disconnected from your intuition, and that it may require you to step outside. It's almost like step outside of yourself for a moment. Step outside of yourself for a moment to Spirit just said be dispassionate in your decision making, which is interesting, because then that would suggest don't be emotionally driven. It's not that they're saying don't be emotional or don't have emotions, but there are other factors in play, probably some rules. Saturn is all about standards, rules, and regulations. It's almost like Spirit's saying, read the fine print. Look at all the ins and outs and little details and clauses and hiccups and hitches. Saturn demands it. So before you decide left or right, what do I do? Which might not be comfortable for you, because Aries is kind of like a jump in kind of person, right? When you feel it, I don't want to make it seem like you're completely impulsive, because that's not necessarily the case. But when you feel it, Spirit's singing that song, When You Know, You Know, just over and over and over. I don't know if there are any other other lyrics to that song. When you know, you know, right? That's Aries energy. But I feel as though that's the issue. You're not sure. So instead of just being frustrated about it, Spirit's asking you to get some perspective. And that perspective actually might be asking for advice from very trusted people about whether or not you should continue along a certain path that you've been on. So let's say, for example, you have a really stable job and you don't want to leave it, but you have this tremendous opportunity somewhere else. But that opportunity might require you to kind of start at a lower position and then build your way back up. But it's with a organization that you've been wanting to get into since you started working. Now's your chance. It's like, but do I leave this amazing job that I already have, where I love the people, to go after this thing that is not really a sure bet, but it's exactly what I wanted and manifested? I don't know that Spirit would make you make such a hard choice in terms of giving up your stability, but it really just depends on who you are as a person. Like, I wouldn't necessarily give up stability for the dream job. Like, well, basically what I'm doing right now in this very moment is my dream job. But I would have to be at a certain level of accomplishment with this YouTube channel for me to give up my day job. Because the most important thing for me right now is stability. Maybe that will change in the future, but it's not. Its stability is important. For you, it may be different. Okay. The next energy here, Death card. Number 13 of the Major Arcana, Scorpio energy. Well, feels like, now, tarot cannot tell you what to do. In fact, it never tells you what to do. It just gives you a temperature. What's happening right now? The Death card talks about endings and new beginnings. Phoenix rising from the ashes. An understanding that something had to naturally come to an end. Now, that can be discerned or elucidated in many different ways. It could be the death of a narrative that you've told yourself. Why do I have to choose? I don't have to. I can take both. You know? It could be something as simple as that. Or it could be, I'm letting go of door number 1 so I can walk through door number 2. Something like that. But ultimately, it's for your best and highest good. That's what they always say about the Death card. That whatever momentum was happening, it was going to lead you in a direction that you ultimately don't want to be in, or that it's going to have you stray from your path. The path that Spirit, you and your higher self and Spirit have set out. 3 of Pentacles, all about collaboration and co-creation. Now this looks kind of like, this is a very seedy and nefarious scene. But Spirit just said, are you sure you understand the perspective? because every other time when I've pulled this card, I always thought it was like somebody trying to plan a heist. And Spirit reminded me of the Hanged Man card. It said, are you sure it's someone trying to plan a heist? Or are these the detectives and the undercover people trying to figure out how to dismantle a heist? Are you sure? Do you actually know the perspective? That's very important. There's something you're not seeing. There's some information you still have to glean. It's really important. Really important for your future. That's again where Saturn comes in here. Like, really cut away the filler. Get to the bare bones. Really see things as they are. Let me ask for clarifier. You're gonna have a victory. 6 of Wands is look at the ticker tape parade. Six of Wands is all about awards, accolades, promotion, public recognition, victory. Spirit's bringing something in right now. It has completely stopped snowing. It was like blizzard, blizzard, blizzard. Now it's nothing. So maybe things are clearing up, right? Yeah, it's like when the ticker tape all settles to the ground, the sky is clear again. It's bringing up something. So at the time that I'm recording this, it's fairly close to New Year's. And people on Instagram, well, it's more on TikTok because that's where all the conspiracy people are. That something weird happened on New Year's Eve in Times Square. People are saying the ball didn't actually drop, that you didn't actually see it on television because it wasn't working, or all of these conspiracies about why we didn't see the whole story, that it was raining cats and dogs, and yet nobody, and you're not allowed to have umbrellas when you're in Times Square. So everybody was saying it was raining cats and dogs, but it wasn't raining on their heads. Like, nobody got wet, even though they said it was raining crazily. So there's all sorts of weird happenstances surrounding Times Square and New Year's Eve. And I don't know why that's relevant, but Spirit wants me to bring it up. Again, maybe to talk about perspective. If you watched it on TV, it was a different experience than if you were there in person. So there's some disconnect that you are going to have to traverse that disconnect. So it's almost like you might have heard stories or had like third-party information. Go to the source. Go to the source. Ending the reading here with the Hermit card, number 9 of the Major Arcana. Maybe going to the source requires a lot more effort than you were anticipating. The source might be Spirit. The Hermit card talks about somebody who retreats away from society, goes through the dark night of the soul, have the spiritual awakening and consciousness. So you might be setting out on this path of questioning, deep questioning, and it might be causing you to feel a little defensive with the 7 of Wands. Like people asking you why you're doing that. Why are you retreating away? Why are you so quiet these days? Spirit is saying narrow window. There's a narrow, okay, I just want to show you this. So this is a narrow path you see on the side of the mountain. And here, yes, the sun is coming up over the horizon between these two towers, but for me it feels very narrow. Narrow window. Because Saturn won't let you have it. They don't give you, Saturn doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room. Basically, if you're thinking about taking shortcuts for any part of the process in your current circumstances, don't. Whatever the heck this is talking about, and I don't know what it is referring to because it will be different for everybody. If you ever feel the impulse to take a shortcut, don't do it. Be thorough. Really, really thorough. Have your eyes open. Observe. Contemplate. I'm gonna get the I'm gonna read from the book for Saturn. Structure, authority, consequences. Saturn is known as the great ruler, the authoritative father, and the structuring force. Limitations, rules, logistics, and laws all fall under Saturn's claim, and they insist on our adherence. Saturn constricts, it corrects, it governs. The force of this planet is mind-bogglingly frustrating, especially for creative types, as it can feel like one limitation after another, yet its ability to support is unmatched. No creative project can come to be without the Saturnian qualities of commitment, endurance, and steadiness. The tick of the clock reminds us of this planet's steadfast presence, eternally measuring. I just want to pause right there because Spirit just gave it to me. Counting down in Times Square, the tick of the clock. Could be something, it feels really heady. It feels like something messed with time, the structure of time in some scenario in your life. Maybe you thought you would have more time. It's no surprise it's associated with the metal lead and the qualities of density and weight. To embrace Saturn is to embrace the foundation and become one's own central authority. It's not as dull or easy as it sounds. That's Saturn's secret. So that's your reading, Aries. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Aries.